In our first episode, we talk numpties, mostly in Australian politics, so lots of numpties. We discovered there's hidden secrets of money. We introduced one of our regular sessions, Talking Crypto FUD. So listen in and find out what the hell that all means. By the end of it, you should walk away with a little more info rumbling around in that head of yours, but with a smile on your dial as you join us for the Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy World podcast.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Two Crazy Guys in One Crazy World podcast, where your hosts will entertain you with stories and news from around the living room and possibly other places too. So without further ado, your hosts, Stacey and Chris. Bring it on, guys.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Crazy Guys in Crazy World podcast. This is episode number 1. Well, it's actually 1.5 because we did an introduction episode where we sort of said a little bit, but we're going to say a lot.
Don't make it complicated. Let's keep it simple.
The very first real episode where we're going to bring you useful and crazy information that will hopefully leave you smiling and wanting
I'm
more.
smiling already.
Having an orgasm. My name is Chris, and my outsider over there is Stacey, and I'm going to hand over to Stacey so he can tell you a little bit about himself. Then I'll come back and tell you a little bit about me. Hopefully, by then someone will still be listening, and then we'll get stuck right into it. Stacey, how are you?
Thank you, my friend Chris. Thanks for that wonderful and energetic intro. So we've decided to do this podcast, and our key aim for this podcast is to have 10,000 newly informed. What was that?
Make them smile.
Make them smile. 10,000 newly informed, smiling followers that will listen along and hopefully learn something and have a bit of a smile and a laugh along the way, as you said. Because that's
now we want those 10,000 in the next 6 months. So come on, people, get your friends in there.
Absolutely, share along, and also let us know what you want to hear about, because that's also going to help give you the information that you're interested in as well. So, about us, why are we doing this podcast? Who are we to be here blabbing on about life and crazy stuff? Well, I'll give my little 2 cents worth, and Chris, that'll give you time to filter out what you should and shouldn't share on your life. Because let's just say mine's a G-rated version.
And mine was G-rated until I turned 5.
Yeah, so look, we're just really two average guys who have had various life experiences. I've been through the joys and traumas of divorce and children and surviving a blended family. We've come out the other end. Still happily married. Well, at least I think we're still happily married, although my wife travels a lot, so maybe that's part of the plan that she gets away from me. I don't know.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. You and Julia are one of those stable couples.
So, well, I hope so. And I've had some varying business experiences. I've created businesses, sold businesses, have not had very good businesses, done the corporate thing as well, done a lot of consulting. So, look, I've had a varied life in terms of experience and things that I've come across, and I do get very curious. I think that's probably the 2 things that have held me instead is my curiosity and wanting to know why things work the way they do, because I love problem solving. Much to the joy of my children. I look, if there's a problem, you've got to solve it, right? So how do you do that?
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely a big one about problem solving. So that's sort of where I'm coming from. So now I'll pass it back to Mr. Deal.
Thank you, Mrs. Stacey. And
have you applied that filtering?
I have applied that filtering. I absolutely have. Now, Stacey said to me, ladies and gentlemen, like just a little while ago before we started this, how about we say a little bit about why we're doing this podcast, who we are, and all that sort of stuff. Now, that was his spiel, and you would all agree with me with, like, okay, gee, thanks for that. Right, okay, now my spiel is, I was in the Navy 1,000 years ago for quite a significant portion of my life. I got to travel all over the world, meet interesting people, and, shall we say, go to church with their daughters. It was really, really good fun. Then I got out and I fell into IT. Yeah, but the main reason that I'm here now is that, look at the colour of my hair. For those that can't see it because you're only listening, it's kind of like what I call the Clooney, so it's a little bit more salty these days. And as Stacey would say, the most amazing thing about my life is I'm still alive. So that's why I'm here.
Yes.
That's why I'm here. I've got a couple of heart farts behind me. I've got two really terrific careers behind me. And now it's time to actually give you guys some information and have some fun doing it. So really, Stacey said we're just a couple of ordinary blokes. Well, I disagree with him. We're a couple of crazy guys. We met 15 years ago and we've been really good friends ever since. Stacey was the best man at my wedding. That was the second one, the really, really good one.
Sorry about that.
And we have just gotten along famously. We talk, we laugh, we carry on, and we want to share it with you. He's the one that knows all the stuff out there. He's the one that tells me. I just go, uh-huh. But that's who we are. So hopefully, come along for the ride. I
think we should absolutely be able to hear from somebody who has managed to fall asleep riding a motorcycle and
twice.
Survive. I was going to say, not just once, but twice. Who does that?
I did the right thing. Once I went to sleep, I did fall off.
Who does that and survives?
Yeah, that's true. And I've dived in oceans all over the world, and I've climbed a mountain in the Himalayas. I've jumped out of aeroplanes. I've flown aeroplanes. I've ridden motorbikes really, really fast and obviously fallen off. But I've survived it all. And Stacey just sits there and shakes his head. It's just life. It's just the way you live it.
So in light of some of those crazy things, that's what we're going to delve into, and so we like to look at events and things that we discover that probably don't hit mainstream media all that much. But
sometimes they do.
Yeah.
And that's where this next story comes from.
Indeed.
Did you know? Now, we all know that Australia that has the most wonderful politicians in the world. They're just fabulous. Like people that we all want to vote for time and time.
This isn't the truth one, is it? No.
No. I mean, when you have a look at the devastating stuff that happened in New Zealand this week, which is absolutely horrible for everyone, but you have a look at the reaction of their Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, and she is actually really well loved, and she did the right thing, and she hasn't put a foot wrong. Our guys can't even comment on it without putting both hands in their noggins wrong. I mean, let's take in our wonderfully elected thing, Senator Fanning. His comments on it the other day blamed it on immigration policies. It had nothing to do with immigration policies. The damn guy that did it was Australian. He just happened to target immigrants. But the point of this guy is such a numpty. Do you know, ladies and gents, he got 19 votes in the last election.
How does that happen? How do you get 19 votes and get in?
Like, I can give you the quick synopsis, right? He was actually a One Nation Party candidate.
Well, that explains
and there was another guy in front of him and Senator Hanson. They were all going in there, right? Now, Fraser Anning got 19 votes. The next guy got 50-something votes. He got in because apparently it's on the ticket.
So you got in on 50 votes.
Yeah, he got in on 57 votes, I think it was, and I'm only going off rough numbers there, but Annings is 19, and that's accurate. But when it turned out that this other guy was a British citizen, he had never renounced it under that bloody thing where we went through and said, like 15 generations ago, your pet dog was born in England, so therefore you can't run because the fact you didn't know you were British doesn't matter to get out.
Another example of fine attention to detail.
Another bloody numpty. Right? So he had to resign. When he resigned, not like the House of Reps that has to go to a by-election, they just give it to the next guy. So Fraser Anning, who got 19 votes, is a cattleman from a cattleman's family that couldn't even muster more than 19 votes from his own extended family, is suddenly sitting in Parliament on $200,000 a year. But then the real kicker, he quits One Nation, the one that got him in there. Now, does that mean One Nation then get to put someone else in? No. It just means that he is now sitting there in the Bob Katter Party, or Bob Katter's Australia Party, for the next 3 years on $200,000 a year. It's no wonder that kicked the egg at the back of his head. That's it. I mean, the best thing that can happen to this guy is the next election. Bring it on and get rid of him. How can we have a system so busted that you can get in on
19 votes? I mean, he's literally performed a Bradbury, right? He was the last man standing on 19 votes and gets elected to Parliament. and he's earning what, 200 grand a year?
$199,040 per year, plus 15.4% superannuation on top of that.
Oh my God!
15%.
And our tax dollars are paying for all that.
They're paying for it. And they're paying for all his travel, all his everything else. I mean, the guy wears a nice suit, but that's the only thing he's got going for him. That's it. But every time he opens his trap, you know what he did yesterday or on the weekend? He went to a gun show.
No.
After all, yeah, he went to a gun show and he said, "Oh, I've always supported guns." So he went to a gun show after all the comments he put out.
Why does that not surprise me? So, but did you see what happened? I mean, that kid. I mean, okay. I mean, you know, in public throwing an egg on someone's, you know, probably not the best thing to do, but it's also steeped in history, right?
It was in a panic, so it wasn't the dumbest thing to do either.
You see, I mean, he turned around and had a go at the kid, right? Tried to hit him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he hit him twice.
And then his so-called bodyguards or wherever were there.
His bogans.
Put him in a bloody headlock and pinned him down. I mean, got roughed up something chronic just for smashing an egg on his head.
He ended up with 2 black eyes. Right? He ended up with 2 black eyes. But today they're actually saying don't play the victim to the kid. You know, you're the one who started it. Which, in some aspects, is fair.
He did, granted, but...
Absolutely. But he should use the whole carton, not just one.
But if you're a politician, if you're being a leader to the country, right, at what point should you be the bigger person and just, you know, laugh that crap off?
Laugh it off. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like every time Senator Fanning opens his mouth, he hasn't got egg on his face. It's true. It's true. The guy's a numpty head. Get rid of him.
So these are the wonderful leaders that are providing an example to our youth on how they should act.
But I know another news story, Stace, that people will actually be really interested in, and even you, with your past, because it's one of those ones that's just so shocking it's hard to imagine.
Oh, what's that?
How did Roger Federer lose the final? How did Roger lose the individual final?
How does that happen?
I mean, but here you go. Like, what's the guy's name? Thiem? Thiem?
Dominic Thiem.
Dominic Thiem, right? He obviously played really well.
Yeah, look,
he beat the Joker, and he's playing really good. But do you know what our numpty media did?
Oh, what's
a lot of numpties in my life, isn't there? Anyway,
yeah, there are.
They billed it as Roger choked.
What?
Well, yeah, that's how all the stories are. Roger chokes.
Oh, I have to read that. I have to look at that. That's crazy.
Whereas Federer came out and said he's played really well and he deserves to win on the day he was the better man. So congratulations to him. I mean, that just shows the class of Roger Federer.
Yeah, but not that. I mean, this is a man who's now, he was going for his 101st ATP title, right?
It's not like he hasn't done it before, right?
He's got 20 Grand Slams under his belt. And they're saying, he choked at Indian Wells.
I know. You know why they're saying it?
Why?
You know what? Because he lost the final last year too. And he's lost the final 2 years in a row. He must be choking.
Oh
my God. How old is he? The guy's like, he's been around longer than these kids have been alive.
He's come up to say anything for a good story, mate.
He's still got 20 Grand Slams under his belt. He's still got 100 ATP titles. And he's still an absolute legend. But really well done to Thiem.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's, I mean, and 3 sets, he was down a set. So to be able to come from behind and beat Federer, a hell of an achievement. So look, he's part of the future. Picked him a while ago. He's and he's sticking with it. So good on him.
Yeah, cool. So what do you got for us, Mr. Bosa? What's your news story of the day?
Well, it's not so much a news story, but look, something that it's more on the serious side, but is well worth, just want to bring to people's attention.
Yeah.
And that is a little video series that is called The Hidden Secrets of Money. Now, the number of conversations I've had with people over recent years is, because as you know, I like to research and find out how shit works and all that sort of stuff. And certainly from the GFC, I did a lot of research around, well, why is our financial system so broken and how does this crap happen, right? So part of my research is I found this thing, which is probably the best series I've found on that explains the history of money and how we get to where we are. Right. So if you just do a Google search for hidden secrets of money, in fact, I can probably share that with you and show that with you.
For those that don't have a screen in front of them, Stacey's actually recording this. He's going to share it out there. If you want the link, please, we will put the link in the show notes afterwards, because he's brought up a wonderful Google screen that we can almost see.
I don't Google anymore. I DuckDuckGo.
He duck goes, right? Like, so, it's kind of like that kid through the egg of fanning should have done. Duck, go.
Absolutely. So I'm trying to get away from Google as much as I can because of the amount of data they love to. And we'll do a session on that.
Are you saying that they track us? Are you saying that these?
Surprised you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
Really?
We'll do a whole session.
You really think that they keep our data and watch what we do?
Oh, look, you have no idea. And the crazy thing is, we all know they do. We just don't know how much, right? So we'll go into that. But so I use a little program called DuckDuckGo, which is another search engine that doesn't track our data. So
as I said, like that kid should have done, DuckDuckGo.
Exactly, should have done. So yeah, hidden secrets of money. He's got about 10. He's got 10.
Give us a synopsis rather than playing it. Give us a synopsis.
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't going to play because there's 10 episodes, right? And
well, that one there that's got Donald Trump in a gladiator suit, that one strikes me out.
That's his most recent ones when he talks about.
Is that after his latest episode of Maths didn't screen on time?
It's how he sees himself every morning, right? He gets up, looks at himself. That's how he sees himself. But look, it's a really good series. Each episode's 20 to 40 minutes. And it takes you back through the history. Like this guy's a historian. Michael Maloney is the guy's name, and he's done a really good job of explaining the history of money, how we've come to where we are now, how the current financial system actually works, with pretty animations and everything. So it's pretty pictures for you to follow and all that sort of stuff. But it's really enlightening, right? And what we might do is, and on a future episode, we might dedicate an episode to doing what you said, a synopsis of the episode.
Well, what we could, absolutely. What we could do is just give a quick 30-second rundown or 60-second rundown on the episode and what it contains. Well, that way, people out there can actually decide whether they want to go and listen to it or not.
Absolutely, because there's lots of.
That'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, look, because there's some major golden nuggets of information in there that is really useful to understand. And certainly in and around the way the current banking and financial system works. And for example, did you know the Federal Reserve is not a government entity? Did you know that it's a privately owned entity?
I did know that because you told me.
Most people don't, right? When you talk about the Federal Reserve, most people think that it is a private organisation, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's not, and it's really interesting to understand how all that works. So
cool.
Anyway, we'll do another one on that one.
Absolutely, I look forward to getting into that, because there would be nothing better than if we play that video, because, ladies and gentlemen, you all know you want to see Donald Trump dressed up as a gladiator. He'll call it fake news.
It's everyone's secret dream, or is that a nightmare?
And while we're talking about money, one of the other things that we're going to bring into this show in a little regular segment that one day may branch out into slightly more is a thing called Talking Crypto FUD. Now, both Stacey and I we're exponents of the crypto technologies. We both like them. He does that research thing and finds out information. I go, that coin sounds really cool. I like the name. I'll buy that. And we're not really quite sure which one works better so far. But FUD is what we're going to talk about with crypto. And FUD stands for fear and uncertainty and doubt. And apparently I've been told I'm not allowed to say it stands for fucked up dudes, right? Not because we're delving in crypto. But we will take you down the crypto path. In some parts it'll be fun. Some parts you'll just go, huh? Did I really need to know what a blockchain was? Right? But trust me, it'll be interesting. All right? So we will have a little segment on that.
We will. And we'll have separate episodes, so that'll help for those that are interested and go down that road.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will talk about all varieties of things, and hopefully today has given you a little bit of an example of that, where you got to smile a little bit, you got to listen a little bit about money. We all love money. The fact that money makes my eyes glaze over because I've never ever got enough, it's absolutely got nothing in the world to do with it. But one of the things we want to make sure that we get out of this podcast is we're doing it because we love it, because we absolutely love putting information out there. We love having fun, and there's no better thing in the world to do than a job where you can have fun. If you hate your job, I'll tell you a secret, quit, get a new one, right? It'll happen. Until you put it out there, it ain't going to happen. It's really that easy. So if you hate your job, quit. And Stacey's probably going, oh, God, he didn't say that, did he? But I did.
No, look, I'm a believer in chasing what you love. And,
absolutely. And trust me, we will go down a thing called woodworking one day where we'll show you a little bit of this amazing woodworking technology. Did you know you can get a saw now, a spinning thing, they cut wood. It goes so fast, but the second that you put your finger there, it stops dead. It won't even cut your finger.
Amazing saw.
And it's spinning at 58 billion miles an hour.
And then
Might be exaggerating, but something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
Amazing.
But you didn't know that. It's true. Stacey told me about it. I didn't believe it, and I saw it. Imagine putting your weed in it. I'm going to test it.
Actually, I just saw there's a because there's a Facebook group specifically for saw stop people, and there's a guy who just posted on there just last week who said he bought the saw as a as a safety thing because he also wanted
got kids.
He wanted to teach his kids and grandkids how to woodwork and stuff, and so he just other than the fact that it's also a really good quality saw, he never dreamed he'd ever actually need it. Actually posted a picture on the other day where he slipped and put his hand into the blade, and it quickly snapped the blade away into the brake. So he's got a picture of the saw, the blade into the brake where it's jammed in, and his finger is this tiny little nick, right? And that's all that happened to his finger. It was a tiny little nick.
It's incredible technology.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Really cool technology out there, And look, like you, I've been in the IT industry for over 20 years, and for me, when I first got into technology, I saw all this amazing possibility for humanity and productivity, and they sprouted on about the paperless office, that we'll have.
Yeah, I remember that. We've got printers, computers, they'll save paper. Print that 15 times rather than learn to type. Yeah, that saves paper.
So, and we'll talk a bit about the cool technologies that are out there, because on the most part, technology, unfortunately, has been completely consumerized and commercialized, and it's all just about.
Could you imagine, just imagine, just for one quick second, if the web, because we all love the World Wide Web. The web delivers us information. It's just that simple. Whether it's news, whatever it happens to be, you can download your programs, whatever you want to do. It all comes through the World Wide Web.
I can sit here and look at your ugly mug while we talk.
Absolutely. See someone else in the room. But we all know that one of the fastest growing things on the internet has always been pornography. Could you imagine if the people that did that could actually focus that somewhere that would help people? I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't have a place somewhere, sometime, somehow.
But fact about the pornography industry is that they have actually been the leading industry in a lot of the technology we use.
Yeah, because so much money goes into it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just incredible. Mind-boggling, apart from anything else. Eye-boggling. All right. Not that I've ever seen it. I go to church too often.
Oh, sorry. They're now doing 3D pornography now. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So long as it never gets to 4D, dude, I don't want to get that.
That's a whole other world we don't want to delve into.
No, we're not going down the porn world, ladies and gentlemen. Although, one last little bit on interesting snippets of information that you do see on the news. Did you know, Stacey, that remember the Full Monty, the movie, Full Monty?
Yeah, it's a good movie,
Yeah, well, there's 4 women in England who caught their kids. They're all mothers. They caught their kids surfing porn.
Oh, yeah.
And they were absolutely shocked at what they saw in the porn, right? I.e., the faked violence and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And they were very concerned that their kids, this is actually quite serious, they were very concerned that their kids, who are all teenagers, this is becoming their view of sex.
Sex, yes.
And they think that that is normal. They think it's normal to be doing
psychology,
yeah.
child psychology.
But guess what they did? Guess what they did? They approached a porn company.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They produced adult films, and they said, we want to make some adult films for our children.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously. So the 4 mothers made porn films that they would be happy for their children to watch.
They weren't acting in that, but they produced the...
I actually don't know, because the news story sort of indicated that they may have been. But I was like, it was actually streamed, it was actually being shown with the appropriate warnings on BBC 2 in England.
Really?
As a special, late night special. And these 4 mothers actually set it up, and it's real porn, and they did it, but they said it's done in a way that shows sex as sex should be, not pornographic sex.
Yeah. Because absolutely, because
that's a hell of a move.
Yeah, and I read another news article that came from a psychological perspective that a lot of, especially young males, because they tend to be the ones that frequent those sites mostly, but they were really struggling with relationships because they were growing up with this view that what they were seeing on porn sites was actually should be reality.
It's not.
When it's not even close. So
no,
it has some serious implications. Yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah, anyway.
It's really.
Oh, we can delve down that path way more, but we're not going to go down showing you porn, ladies and gentlemen.
Another bit of crazy world stuff.
And we are not exponents of pornography. We are just simply telling you a little bit of the news that we found out. And it's just crazy stuff, because when I read it, I mean, the full Monty back in the day was huge. These guys all got their club off. And I went, oh, you don't want to see that on TV. I mean, really? Yeah. It's just that easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, that's the way we're approaching this podcast, is that we're coming to it with a very open mind.
If it's out there and we see it, we'll tell you about it, because it's out there.
Oh, yeah, it's out there, all right.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been 2 Crazy Guys from One Crazy World. I'm Chris, and this is...
I'm Stacey.
Stacey?
Poppy D to my favourite people.
Absolutely. That's his grandchildren. You know why they're his favourite? He can give them back. Whereas me, I've still just got kids. Oh, my God. I haven't got grandkids yet. Please, God, don't. I don't want them yet.
We thought that too. When our first grandchild was on the way, we looked at ourselves and went, oh, my God, we're too young to be grandparents. We're not ready for this. But I tell you what, most wonderful little parcels of joy you could ever hope to have.
Because you can give them back.
Oh, absolutely. We can spoil them and have fun with them and then hand them back.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No responsibility, right?
Yeah. Well, I've got 4 hours now till I go and pick up one from school. So.
Well, I'm going to go and do some woodwork.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you same time, same bat channel, different time. And no place, whatever it happens to be. See ya. Bye. What are you going to do? Fly free?
As Mork said, fly, be free. Remember?
That's right, Mork Mini. I would be down Mork Mini.
I've got to say that now.
Yeah. You know, my wife looked at me as if to say, who are they?
Oh, no.
Yeah, true. I don't know if she's serious. Yeah, it's like, huh?
If anybody listening or watching this does not know any reference or don't understand what I'm talking about with Mork and Mindy, you have to get onto YouTube and look at some classic Robin Williams stuff. Mindy wasn't too bad either, so she's worth looking at.
Absolutely.
For the guys all.
All right. Have a great day, all. Bye.
See ya. Bye.